It's Easter Sunday 2020 and this is the Irish Unity Podcast. You're very welcome back. Now this is a date which for all Irish Republicans and Unity advocates is of central importance. It's a date that many people hold very, very dear. It's the date that usually and should be honouring Ireland's fallen, honouring our patriot dead. Unfortunately this year that's just not possible. All organisations however are hosting online commemorative events, if you like, orations and different recitations, and that's great, and everybody should support every Republican organisation out there that's doing that and give it a listen to. Maybe it's a chance for everybody to attend everybody else's events, which is no bad thing. Today the Irish Unity Podcast is delighted to host on behalf of the Irish Republican Socialist Party a lecture. What that party does most years is that it will dedicate that year's commemorative Easter march and ceremony to those who that year it would have been a seminal year, that is like either a decade anniversary or a semi-decade anniversary. And this year the IRSP were set to commemorate centrally the roles of 8 comrades of that party who gave their lives, namely Hugh Ferguson, Danny Loughran, Brendan McNamee, Ronnie Traynor, Miriam Daly, Ronnie Bunton and Noel Little, and Alex Patterson. We're going to hear from Gerard Murray of the IRSP. Gerard is, you could say, the central commemorative historical officer of the IRSP. Gerard's going to give us a very grounded insight into the life, the ideologies and the unfortunate deaths of these 8 Republican Socialist revolutionaries. So with me on the line from West Belfast is Gerard Murray, commonly known as Cocker Murray. He is the master of ceremonies for the Irish Republican Socialist Party. He would be the go-to man for the history of the Irish Republican Socialist movement. Cocker, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good man.
Appreciate that.
I know that you, this year, like every other year, you had already put great effort into preparing the Easter ceremonies and marching and drills and all the rest. Unfortunately, that's out the window, and commiserations on that there, because I know you've put a lot of hard work into it. I also know that you've helped author a book that's due to come out soon with Keith Dunleavy about the fallen martyrs of the Republican Socialist movement, and this year, being that it's the seminal anniversary for several fallen comrades of the IRSP who were going to be the centre highlight of the commemoration, if you like, you've kindly agreed to give us a bit of an Easter history lecture or lesson on the lives of these 8 comrades. February 1975, Gerard, Hugh Ferguson from White Rock.
Yeah, Hugh Ferguson was a mechanic. He was a former member of the official Republican movement called the Officials. And what happened was he was also a founder member of the Republican Socialist movement, the IRSP. And during that time, just round about that time, the Officials the IRSP broke away from the Officials in December 1974. And what happened was the Officials then tried to annihilate the movement. What they were doing was they were going to the chairmen of the Irish Republican Socialist Party in different areas, such as Twinbrook and Beachmead. And Hugh Ferguson was next on their list.
Yeah.
So what they done was the Q, then they went to shoot Q as well. Q, being the personality that he was, fought them back.
Yeah. And
during the fight back, they shot him in the head. Now what happened then was that blew up into a mad feud between former comrades that became very dirty, and it was just one of them
tragic
things. Tragic would be the better word. Yeah. But Q came from a big family. Yeah. He was steeped in republicanism. As I say, he was chairman of the wasn't the Workers' Party, and it was Republican clubs in the White area before he joined the Irish Republican Socialist Party, and then automatically became the chairman. So he was well respected in the area, and his history spoke for itself, and he's still remembered to this day as who Hugh Ferguson was, and he's still respected in the area of the White Rock.
Tell me this, Carter, because I know, like as you said, he was a member of the Republican clubs, like many of those who went on to join and form the IRSP. What would have been the feeling, and you would have had personal insight and friendships with these people, like what would have been the main motivations for comrades who decided that the time was right to follow Seamus Costello into the IRSP? What was the motivating factors? What were the...
Let me go back slightly before that. When,
Yeah.
People in the split between the officials and the professionals, there was what you'd call a vote. And the vote was either to go official, go professional, or stay neutral. And a lot of people wished to stay neutral because they were active, but they were coaxed, if that's the right word, into believing that if they weren't official, they'd still be doing the same thing. So up until 72, Joe McCann and stuff, what happened was they were still being active.
Yeah.
So slowly but surely, the time took them a while to catch on. There was grumblings, there was feelings, heavy feelings. So when they didn't want to join the professionals through one reason or another.
Yeah.
So when Seamus and crew decided to go that direction, most people seen that as just going back to when they were neutral.
Yeah.
So that, a lot of them said themselves, or seemed to say themselves, self included, would have been, this is what we joined this movement for. Here's our chance to get back to basics and start all over again.
Yeah. Like
so that was some of us, you know, most of us probably.
And poor Hugh paid the price for that. Why? What do you think? Like, why were the officials so resentful of people who just, you know?
Because I think they let the professionals get away with it in the early days,
yeah.
And when the professionals grew into the movement that they were, and they said to themselves, "Well, we're not going to let this happen again.
Yeah.
This could come back to bite us. So we're going to make sure they were strong enough. Remember, they were on ceasefire for a number of years, 2 years. They weren't had no decommissioning. Weaponry was quite available to them. Men were quite capable. There was enough quite capable men to use these weapons. Probably only too glad to go out and get a bit of exercise, if that's the word.
Yeah.
So they were capable. And the Dublin leadership would have had an insight into it.
Well, 2 months, we'll roll on 2 months to April 75. Gerard and young Danny Loughlin.
Danny was a different kettle of fish. He came from the same background.
Yeah.
And what happened, Danny was an only child. He lived with his aunt, Davis Flats. But Danny was also a former Irish soldier and had deserted. Danny lived with his aunt in Davis. He deserted from the Irish Army, and it wasn't feasible in the Irish Army at the madness of the Troubles to come up and look for one man to bring them back and court-martial them.
Yeah.
But the thing was, what happened to Danny was slightly different from Q. What happened to Danny was in a social club that night, and when it came out, there was a number of us all in that social club. There could have been 20, 30 of us because we were all at a wedding that day.
Yeah.
And what happened was, when Danny and another fella came out, they were first out, them in the two waves. There was two guys standing waiting, declared who they were, opened up, shot them in the back. Danny was hit in the back and died. The other fella got hit in the back. Whatever way he ran, went up through his throat and came out through his teeth.
And this was again, and this is the officials again.
This is the officials again. Because that was still going on, remember. This started about February, went on to maybe the end of May.
Yeah. That's
just giving you a rough ballpark, you know, there could have been a week later.
What age was Danny roughly around then?
Danny's birthday there was, believe it or not, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Danny was 21.
21 when he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of guy was he? What was Danny like, Carter?
Well, I knew Danny well, and Danny was just like any other young guy at that time. Good crack.
Yeah.
Good laugh, you know, mixed in. And he had just been married about 6 months, I think he only got married in August.
Yeah.
So, he was settling down. But, no, he was a good fella. He lived with his granny, his mother and father lived up in Perth Lodge. He lived with his granny, and suppose he got a wee bit more leeway, you know, when you live with his aunt, he lived with his aunt, and he got a wee bit more leeway than his mum and dad probably would have let him. But being an only child, there always is that wee bit of leeway.
Yeah.
But he did live in the Lower Falls before he went to Davis, and while in the Lower Falls, he had been connected to the Lower Falls officials.
Yeah.
And then we moved over to Davis, and at that time the whole unit and the whole common of the officials all joined on black to the Republican Socialist movement.
Yeah.
The whole common. You know, whereas on Leeson Street it was probably the whole common all stayed with the officials. It's just the geography of Belfast.
Yeah, cheek by jowl, no?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Well, 75, very rough year for the party.
Well, the party first started, it was based also on quality rather than quantity.
Yeah.
Of the people who was going to wanted to join it because of the political direction they wanted. Remember, they didn't want the army involved at the time because they wanted to go down a political route. It was just they were forced in the backs to the wall, where there had to be some sort of people.
That's an interesting point, but that it wasn't necessarily what Costello was pushing. It wasn't necessarily ultra militancy or violence. That it was political, literate realization of the circumstances and acting duly, but forced into armed defence.
And that's where the quality and the quantity crossed over. So that's where then there had to be more quantity brought in to look after the quality.
Yeah, I understand. Which brought a whole new dynamic to the entire project.
Yes.
2 months, it seems to be moving in 2 months here. We're into June 1975, and Brendan McNamee.
Well, Brendan McNamee came with different kettle of fish altogether because he was interned for the provisionals.
Yeah.
So he had no direct link with the officials whatsoever, where the majority of the people who had moved to Costello's group had all been official connections. And he had been interned for him, but his reputation was such that we think at that time provisionals thought that when he joined the Republican Socialist movement that he could have brought a number of men with him.
Yeah.
Because he did hold a high enough rank. As I say, his position was that he's held in such high esteem where people would have said, he's doing that? Well, it must be right.
Yeah.
But he seen when he came out of internment, whatever direction the provisionals were going, that was not the same grouping that he went in for.
Yeah.
So he seen some sort of slide or some sort of change in direction. And what happened was then he was coming out of a bar up in his native Anderson's town, and again they were sitting waiting on him, and he got shot. And it was kept sort of on a low key.
Yeah. Because
at that time people thought that he was part of this feud that was still going on with the officials.
Yeah.
Although that had sort of simmered down and filtered out a good bit. But they thought it might have been a case of, here's a wee bit of a retaliatory action here of some description. And there was only in later times that we started to find out exactly what happened to him. But he came from a different background.
Yeah.
Which is one of the few that did.
But again, the similar theme that's running through this is as we know, Costello's central plank was the combination of the class struggle and the national struggle, as was Connolly's message. You have a position where the IRSP are saying we're determined to follow that path, and they're being attacked from both sides, both by the officials who wanted to abandon the national struggle and the provisionals who arguably at that time had no time for the class struggle.
Correct. So what happened was, as I fall back on that again, when the people who were in the officials believed that we were going down the one route, but that again changed direction with the ceasefire. So people in that organisation were getting disillusioned. And then when Costello came up with back to the basics, it was like an open door to say that's what we wanted and that's what we get into that movement for. This is because we at that time, and the start of the Republic, people in the Republican clubs were all advised and urged to join all these, the housing executive, be involved in local politics.
Yeah.
Something similar to what's happening today.
Yeah.
But, people were get into that and be involved, and that's where you're sort of grassroots, and that's where people then seen the credibility that you were. So that's when Costello was going down the same route.
Yeah.
The officials then nipped this in the bud, because they're either going to step on our toes because we're in the middle of that, or they're going to take over us and they're not going to have that. That's basically, that's black and white, where everything's not black and white, as you know, but that's something similar to what we believe, I believe. But it was quality more than quantity.
Yeah.
And it was the grassroots, and it was a case of the politics was primary.
I want to take it down to County Armagh now, Gerard.
Ronnie?
Yep, we're in December 1975. Young Ronnie Trainer.
Yeah. Ronnie again was killed by another organisation, pro-British, if you want to call them loyalist organisation, with the put a bomb at the house and blew him up. It wasn't specifically Ronnie. I would think that they were trying to kill. It was a case of any one of the family, because they were a very prominent family in Portadown, a Republican family, and well known. And they did suffer a lot through the troubles, where they had another brother assassinated by the same people. They had their mother assassinated by the same people. They had their father seriously injured by the same people, and had two brothers. And went into prison. So the family got hit very, very hard.
Yeah.
And Ronnie was only a young guy. And remember, the Irish Republican Socialist Party at that time were still a fledgling organisation, because from the start of 1974, all that trouble up to, say, May, June 75, where then they had to reorganise again. And that didn't sort of happen overnight. That would have taken a few months. So Ronnie then was in the middle of the reorganisation, although at a young age, because at that time we were all young, and he turned around, it was how he died, there was a bomb put at his house.
Yeah.
And the bomb went off and he was killed. But also at that County Armagh, what you were saying was, when they lived in Portadown, became around that time a very Republican Socialist hotspot.
Yeah.
There's I think a lot of the people who were in the Republican clubs down there did, go the way of Stalin.
And to the credit of the party, not least in Belfast, to the credit of the party, to the credit of Republican socialism in general, it survived that onslaught from the officials, a clear political attempt at political suppression, and it went on to organise handsomely and effectively.
Not only that, which also has to be took into account as well. It wasn't just the four people who gave their lives, which is the ultimate sacrifice. There was a number of others in their 20s, 30s, people who were all kneecapped or shot at or wounded.
Yeah.
All at different times along these few months. So, they did pay a heavy price.
Yeah.
They did pay a heavy price.
They went on, the party went on, Republican socialism went on, and it played a central political role and central role in other arenas, not least the H-Block Armagh committees.
The Armagh H-Block committee was at the start of it, was Miriam Daly was one of our first people that was assassinated, who was part of that. And Miriam was an academic and worked in Queen's, and one of her fortes was translating the solidarity messages from Europe, Spain, Portugal, whatever it may be. She was able to do that and talk articulately in any setting that she was in, and she got a particularly bad death. Not only is it because she was a woman, which always is worse than a man, but they actually went into her house and tied her up in the chair and killed her and left her for her two twins to find her.
Gerard, if you can, give us an insight into Miriam's background, in terms of how Miriam would have been drawn towards the party of Costello, the party of Connolly.
Well, Miriam was from down south.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she would have grew up at the time of the border campaign. Yeah. So she would have known all these different names of Costello, Garland, O'Brady, all the different ones whose names keep getting bandied about. Who's done the bit one time in the Curra, and she would have knew all these. So she would have analysed her own feelings by saying, well, he's with that group, I like that group, but I don't like that politics, or I like that, but I don't like that. This one here is suiting me a wee bit better down to the ground. Obviously, no doubt, like everybody, all groups don't tick all the boxes.
Yeah.
But she was at the position she was in. She was articulate enough to sit there, and her husband there too was a friend of Seamus's and all as well. She was also a friend of Seamus.
Yeah.
She was also a friend of Seamus. So I have no doubt that they have sat, because Seamus was a gruff enough man, and the head debates would have been hot and heavy, but hot and heavy to a good ending, where if you needed an answer, well, this is the answer. There's been no hiding behind doors or back doors, and it would have been, this is it. So she'd have got answers that she wanted, and she must have got answers that suited her. What she wanted.
Jim Daly, beloved husband of Miriam, and Jim was a high-ranking party member as well, and Jim unveiled the mural to Miriam around 3 years ago, but not long after that he done an interview with a national newspaper, and he mentioned how Miriam was acutely aware of the threat she was putting herself in when she joined the IRSP. Yeah, and that I think so much so that I think they first moved to the Holy Lands, which at that stage was a loyalist area. They then decided, for reasons of safety, to go to Stranmillis, and they still felt under threat, and eventually moved into what they thought was the safety of Andersonstown. And this brings us round to the fact that it looks like there was British state involvement, Thatcher involvement in the murder of Dr. Miriam Daly.
Well, I would think so, but not only that, everybody who joined the Republican Socialist movement, especially because a lot of people joined that feud was happening, were acutely aware that their lives were in danger. You know, when people left, I remember people leaving the house and they Keith Ferguson get killed and not being able to go back to their house for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so Miriam, if I would have been Miriam, had been doing the same, had been going to the safety of Andersonstown or somewhere like that. And I remember asking Ronnie Bunton, who killed Miriam? What happened to Miriam? And he turned around and he believed it was a collusion between one of the loyalist organisations and the British establishment, you know, giving them a free run in and giving them a free run out. You know, they went in and sat in the house to kill her, where 9 times out of 10 before that it was a case of door kicked down, somebody shot and away.
Yeah.
Where they were able to drive up, go in, sit there, have no worries. And because Miriam and Kim were high-ranking, high-profile members of the Republican Socialist movement, come on, that house would have been under surveillance of some description.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, there's a theory out there in politics that Thatcher particularly feared the IRSP due to an academic insight that was maybe lacking in other quarters. Would that be right?
Well, that would be partly true. That would be a factor. But she also had a hatred over the Early Needs thing.
Right.
Early Need was, you know, he was a golden boy.
Yeah. And
he got killed in March 79 and Miriam killed in June 80. You know, she wasn't on her own because there was a number of ones killed by it's just black and white. She had a particular hatred for that movement, the Republican Socialist movement. But you're right in what you're saying, because of the ilk of some of these people. They were doctors and they were philosophers and they were academics and they were this and that. They weren't ordinary Joe Blogs. But it goes back to my thing again, where it was going for quality.
Yeah.
Rather than quantity. You know, there's some did leave because of family commitments and stuff like that. They didn't join an organisation, they were killed. They thought they would join an organisation, they down a political route. It wasn't their fault, and you know, they were drawn into something. You know, it just wasn't for them.
Yeah.
Well, there was a number of people who were very well educated, and if all got together and created a joint or a one way for to get at the British establishment, it was the people in the Republican Socialist movement.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned there that when you were doing your own, you know, understandable inquiries into what happened to Miriam, that one of the people to give you his explanation was Ronnie Bunton, and this brings us up to October 1981. Ronnie Bunton, who was killed along with his comrade Noel Little.
Well, we'll start with Ronnie and then we're going to Noel rather than jumping back and forward. Again, Ronnie from another different background, which is middle class, loyalist. Father was a real prominent loyalist. The BNP's lead sort of right-hand man at one stage, had been in prison for his beliefs and such.
That was Major Reginald Bunton, yeah?
Major Ronald.
Right.
That's what they called him, Major Ronald Bunton.
And he was a major in the British Army, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. And him and Ronnie are both buried together in the one grave. Because I went up to see it, and the ironic thing is that the stones in the grave are green. The man at the turn of his grave.
Where's Ronnie buried? Where did they bury Ronnie?
Out by Malale.
Malale, yeah.
So it's easy enough found, like a where you're going, but it wouldn't be a place that you can walk out and have South Clouds flying all over the place, you know.
And he joined. And so, how did Ronnie Bunton Jr. come to find himself in the Irish Republican Socialist Party?
Ronnie went to Queen's.
Yeah.
And Queen's at that time were radical. As you know yourself, the civil rights movement were starting to get embroiled in politics. And now one man, one vote, we're starting in about 66 here, 65. And you know, so being a student, you tend to get into them sort of things, you know. It's a case of fuck the system, him in some sort of shape or form. And what happened was Ronnie went out. I think Ronnie was actually on the Burntollet March, that civil rights march from Belfast to Derry, where they got attacked at Burntollet. But he was on a number of them, and when Michael Canavan, Michael Farrell and all would have been all in. I think
he was People's Democracy. Ronnie was PD, wasn't he?
Yeah. It was what would I say? At that time, it was like a fledgling.
Yeah.
There weren't anything that was bucking the establishment, basically. So, and then Ronnie joined the officials. Yeah. And was interned and all for the officials. Wow. And then when all this came about in '74, Ronnie was one of the first doors knocked, because we're back. Ronnie was a very, very intelligent man, and they were back to this quality again. Picking the lick of Ronnie, and there's one or two other people he run about in Queens with, who also came with him, who were high quality intellectuals.
He was a school teacher, Gerard, yeah? Ronnie was a school teacher.
Yeah, so what happened was when these people talked, you listened.
Yeah, of course.
And the good thing about Ronnie, when he talked as a school teacher, he didn't look at him as a school teacher. He looked at him more down to earth, rather than being, sometimes school teachers can be aloof. They don't mean it, it's just the way they teach things. And with Ronnie, it was a case of he could have sat there and had a good laugh at them. Tried to kill him. Different people, the officials tried to kill him 2 or 3 times. And I went to live in Dublin, up Dermot Hill. He was in Sebastopol Street. And up in Downfine anyway, where he did get killed. But he was in Castlereagh that week, and he had just gotten released the night he got killed. And he was in Castlereagh along with Noel, who was a merchant seaman. Yeah. But had been involved in social issues as he went along. Again, middle class. These men weren't brought up in Bevis Flats or Lower Falls or Ballymurphys.
This is just for the listeners. This is Noel Little we're talking about now, who was killed along with Ronnie Bunton. Yeah.
Both of them were killed in the one house in Downfine Grounds, and they were both released at the same time, maybe a day or so before they got murdered. And again, they were able to. At that time in 1981, Belfast was like a ring of steel. Certain roads out of it, like the Donegal Road, brought you down into the lakes. These were blocked off with the Dragon's Teeth and the bars across it. At certain times at night, Durham Street was. So West Belfast was cordoned off. Yeah. Like a no man's land. But these people were able to drive in. If you went around his house now where he got shot, you'd have hard trouble finding it, because where it was in a wee cul-de-sac. I remember
looking for it. There was a plaque unveiled, I think it was 2001, and I remember trying to find it, and it was a nightmare. Could we get into the background and know a little, just a wee bit more, because just his politics, his political background. Did Noel come through the officials as well?
No, as I say, Noel was a merchant seaman. Yeah. But Noel would have been more a case of, what would I say, like a politician of some description, like a Bernadette Davany type.
But Paul Little, I'm sure Paul won't mind us mentioning. I think Paul spoke at the unveiling of the Ronnie Bunton No Little plaque, am I right? And Paul just said Ronnie was a communist. That's how he described it. Like Ronnie was a communist. Would that be your recollection, Georgia?
Well, I like to call people socialists rather than communists, because years ago when we used to get taught that we training classes used to have the common meetings and stuff, communists were always classed as, you only looked the one way, you had no other interest in this, that or the other, it was only their way or no way. Ronnie, that was the way you were taught, whether it's right or wrong, but that was, you have to go as far as the Civil War in Spain, where the socialists went over, and because they went over, they were called communists by the IRA. Yeah. So it could be a nice wee phrase or an umbrella term, and there's so many, it covers a multitude.
But in October 81, sorry for cutting across you there, so in October 81, Noel was staying with his good friend Ronnie Bunton and his wife Suzanne.
And the kids, and the 3 kids were in the house.
Yeah. And there's because there's an ongoing there's an attempt to pursue an inquest into the death of Noel and Ronnie, and the Brits seem to be trying to prevent it. They've handed it to the Attorney General in England. They don't want it dealt with here. They want if there's going to be an inquest, they want it to be dealt with by their own people.
The way I would think of that was it's because they don't want it, the same in mine, they wouldn't want that because it's too close to home.
Yeah.
Something could come out that could drag them into it. There could somebody, whether it be a loyalist who was involved in it. But what happened was they come through the door and run up the stairs. No little heard that he was staying in the son's bedroom.
Yeah.
He run out from the bedroom to see what the noise was, and he got shot bang. One bullet killed him.
Yeah.
And Ronnie and Suzanne were holding the door back, their bedroom door back. The boy was able to kick it open a wee bit, put the gun round and shoot both of them. So they were able to let go of the door, so he was able to go in and finish Ronnie off. Suzanne was shot about 3 times as well on that occasion. But no one only got hit once. Because
Suzanne tried, and this was, I remember this was mentioned quite rightly by Bernie McCalliskey at the unveiling of the mural, and she said she wanted to pay a particular tribute, which I'm sure we do, for her attempts to save the life of Ronnie Bunton. She physically fought the death squad, Suzanne did, in order to try to prevent the life of the two boys.
On that, I actually chaired that unveiling. Yeah. And on that night, we had a wee bit of a function for people who all went to, and a wee bit of music on. And that night, myself and my wife sat for Suzanne. Yeah. And we spoke about that fateful night of Ronnie and Noah. And she sat and she spoke to me and showed us part of her tongue was shot off. That's how lucky she was. Yeah. And she was shot sort of in the shoulder, and that sort of thing where your mom had put the gun round at an angle. Yeah. Shot them. So once the pressure was off the door, he was able to get in.
Well, certainly, I'm sure.
She swears that it was an Irish accent, a Belfast accent, that one shouted to the other,
Yeah. Well, obviously, we'll take the opportunity to send our best wishes to Suzanne as well and salute her for her bravery.
Of course. Funny enough, I've seen her at Christmas, and she's getting on a hip replacement.
Right.
She's on one of them, the motorised wheelchairs. Yeah. So she's written patiently on a hip replacement.
Yeah. Well, certainly we'll send our best Easter wishes to Suzanne Bunton.
Just on a wee point there with Ronnie. Yeah. And his father, we're speaking about his father. When Ronnie died, his father took the body and he raped him in the Newtownards, in a funeral home in the Newtownards Road, and buried him in Malay because Suzanne was seriously ill in hospital and had no control over Ronnie's burial. That's why he's not buried in Milltown, or there was no march up the road. There had to be 1 year on to commemorate Ronnie and Noah. Yeah. And Noel is buried over in Ballyhackamore, like a middle class area of Belfast.
The 1980s, the rest of the 80s, Gerard, is history now. Some advances for the party, some terrible tragedies, but it brings us up to November 1990, and we're going up to Tyrone, West Tyrone, and Alex Patterson. Could you give us a background, Alex? Yeah.
Alex Patterson was probably another one of these, probably shoot to kill. Only it's not so much, what would you call it, known, or it's not so famous, if that's the right word, because he was getting out of the car in an operation, and they were sitting getting on him and shot him dead. Yeah. A young man. That was the route that he chose, and the establishment had chosen that route as well to take no prisoners if they got a chance. It was sort of a rural place he was in. So nobody, it's not to say that he was in the street where somebody could have been looking out the window and pointed the finger at which army regiment done it, and he was killed.
But Alex was a party activist as well.
He was a party activist as well. But as I say, that was he chose a party which that's what he chose, and it's just a pity that if we go back to before, they all had been trying the political route, there wouldn't have that many men in prison or a man died in hunger strike. Yeah. A couple of female died in hunger strike, Yeah. Now remember too, just in between that you had John Connolly, who was a member of that H Black Committee. Yeah. Yeah, he was killed, and Bernard Bellin, who was sort of a founding member of the IRSP, was shot and seriously injured. And the powers then arrested the people who went in, the shooter and the UDA.
Yeah. We'd be very naive to suggest that Thatcher hadn't, boxed people off and pointed them in the right direction and offered immunity. Of course she did.
Of course she did. That's pretty much another point up all I'm doing there is just throwing it out and putting those 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. You take what you want, count it up as whatever way you wish, but if you don't know it, then you can't add it up.
Gerard, if I can ask you, you can tell every Easter, everybody sees the IRSP walking up the Falls Road. It's an institution now, the IRSP marching the Falls Road, and you're very much central to it. What do you think, given the effort that you put into commemorating the dead, and why is Easter so important to you as a lifelong ERP?
Well, a number of wee things, when we first started walking up the Falls Road, we started off in Dunville Park, and then there was different things with people in prison and different altercations among the movement. Then it was moved from Costello House up into the park, or up into the cemetery, and then there was different times there was only 20, 30 people doing it. Until, what to me, where it sort of progressed again was when they started putting up the memorial plaques to the dead volunteers around the country and even in Dublin. And what happened, to me, there's nothing strikes people's hearts, especially ex-prisoners or supporters' hearts, is the dead.
Yeah.
And once you get people on about the dead, when you talk about them and everybody has their own experience, they're going to they become involved.
That's right, yeah.
And it does your heart good that, you moved it back to night at Dunville Park, with the crowds out there, with 3-4 bands now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a sort of more of a wish, but I don't want it to turn into a carnival like some parades. So what you do is you say to yourself, oh, this is good here.
Yeah.
This is smashing. And it is all because of not only our dead, the ones who died in hunger strike, and the ones who died in 1916.
See, what I noticed, I've been saying this a few times, like the guys who give their life for the IRSP, they literally, today, the party can literally still feel the benefits of their sacrifice, not just on Easter Sunday, but for example, if the IRSP goes into White Rock next week to hand out leaflets or to do any political initiative, they know that because of Hugh Ferguson's sacrifice, the family of Hugh Ferguson are going to turn up. Yeah, they may not be card carrying members of the IRSP or may not attend common meetings or whatever.
The hard in that, Hugh Ferguson's mother died on Sunday or Monday.
That's right.
And what happened was, the first thing was his sister got on the phone to me to tell me firsthand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mother died and it was going to try and get you down, but you had dementia and you need to go into the hospice and say and stuff. But yes, keeps that wee contact is all still there. I told you about Suzanne and talking about her. Danny's family is more or less gone now, especially his brother-in-laws. I talked to them, and so there's still that wee connection.
Same as with the Dailies and the Littles, the trainers.
The Dailies and the Littles and the trainers that had very sick with the trainer family in Down.
Yeah.
Because I knew some of them, I still know some of them. So there is a number of ones there but again, I'm not the only one that looks after Easter. There's other people who maybe would know different ones.
Of course, yeah.
And have different experiences, So, but you're right, the benefit of this movement will be determined from the sacrifice of our fallen.
Yeah, well said. Gerard, that's been a great insight. I'm sure you'll join with me as we pay tribute to all the guys there, because we can't be up at Milltown this Easter. But also if we could send our commiserations out due to the recent passing of Hugh Ferguson's mother, we'll send commiserations to the Ferguson family.
I do think that all the families do understand that the reason for this postponement of the Easter parade is because of the situation at the minute with this coronavirus. It's not feasible for people to be going up into the graveyard and such, so I think they understand that, which is good.
Gerard Murray, thanks very much. That's brilliant. Great insight.
Slán,
Gerard Murray.